Hey guys, welcome back. I am going to show you the last part of my craft room tour, which is this wall right here. I have definitely grown into this part of my dining room area. This is our kitchen has the little bar around it, but we don't use that for sitting. So on this side is bookcases just like this. There's two of them to hold the books that I like to read, my fiction books that I read. But one thing you'll have noticed is already I have changed the back wall. I did not like the brown paper up on the back wall because I am in the back part of the apartment. There's only windows that are behind me. So I wanted to keep this a little bit lighter because I also have a ton of color and brown right here anyway. So I adjusted it. There's only 2 pages up here that have the brown on them because I liked the title on the page, the chapter title. So like this one says, there must be a balance. And then this one says, as I see it, there's no excuse. So I just thought those were kind of neat. So I just left those up there. And then I took some of the tape, the brown sellotape I have off, and just kept a couple of them up there. So I really like it better, but just kind of wanted to show you that already. I am notorious for changing things a lot. So that's my only disclaimer. So first on this wall is this bookshelf. This holds my junk journal books that I use for junk journaling or art journaling or any crafting books. So they're mostly like art books, poetry books, flower books. This is a little library that I painted with some wood blocks that I had. It is Christmas kind of on one side, so I might turn it around and paint the other side for the rest of the year. These are just some empty albums, the Heidi Swap albums, and then the books are in them. And then my magazines down here. This is my grandpa, who is the OG vlogger before it was even a thing. Growing up in the 80s and 90s, my grandpa always had a video camera or just a camera to take pictures. So we have tons of videos of family events and gatherings and photographs. So I had found this picture over the summer last year, and I printed it and framed it because I thought it was perfect because he was the original memory keeper and vlogger before YouTube was certainly a big thing. This is my art easel, my tabletop art easel for when I want to do some art and I want the art standing up. So it has 2 drawers and then the easel pulls up. So I just store it down there for now. This table I got from friends of ours over in the fall when they were moving, and it works out perfectly. The bottom does not have a shelf, but I kind of created a shelf by putting these wooden boxes down here as storage. Like there's stuff in there that I don't access very often, so I'm not real worried about having to move stuff to get to it. But it creates another shelf for me. This basket right here and this basket right here, I'm not going to open them, but they're just vintage picnic baskets that have some fabric scraps, I guess, ribbon, and twine or embroidery floss. This is another wooden box that I found. Most of the wooden boxes are stuff that are ones that I find either at the thrift store or somebody threw away. This just has some embroidery floss and some like thinner yarn that somebody was getting rid of and I rescued. Then the bottom shelf, I have a big old canister of chalk paint, white chalk paint, because I have a project coming up that I'm going to show you guys that I was using that for. Some extra lights for my light bulbs. This is just kind of miscellaneous stuff. This has glue sticks and other glues in it. This has those mesh produce bags. I've been keeping them to use for art journaling or textures in art journaling, and then also you can use it to make your own like Brillo pads. This just has some miscellaneous art supplies in it, some water-soluble pastels that I got. This is some chalk pastels, some extra stencils that I wouldn't use normally, and then some wood blanks that I got from a friend that I have used to make my, excuse me as I walk around, make the storage on my desk. This basket, oh, let's see if I can do this one-handed. Is just a bunch of fabric, like quarters or smaller pieces of fabric that I have gotten. So that's what's in this basket. This basket holds some of my tissue paper. This is like a decoupage box essentially. So it has tissue paper and napkins in it. I also have Tim Holtz collage paper in here, and then some bags that I got for the purpose of making something with them, not to like give away. Then let's see if I can get all this back in here. Okay. Then this is the Michaels drawer that, if you'll remember on my earlier craft tour video, this is the drawer that came out, so I put it in here. It works perfectly kind of as a little drawer. This just has some extra paint brushes, paint supplies, some older paints that I need to use more of, and then I think this thermos thing right here is full of buttons. So this just kind of goes back in here. And what fell down at me was some extra black thread that I found at the thrift store. $2.99. And then this just has my handheld sewing machine that I got from Temu that I think is garbage and I could probably just get rid of. I don't think it's actually any good. Then I have these 3 baskets from the Dollar Tree. This one holds household stuff, measuring tape, batteries, screwdriver. Up on top, I just didn't know where to store this, so I put this there. Cricut foil transfer sheets that I got over the Thanksgiving break. This has some clear pencil cases that have these medicine bottles for kids' medicine, and I put it in here to use if I need to, like if I make colored glitter or anything like that, and then some blank empty gift cards to use for that, for our art journaling. Some extra sponges, textures, pegs for my shelf, my pegboard shelf if I want. And then some jewelry wire or thin wire. And then in this one, oops, is just some extra large, some more ribbon that I had in here. I have lots of ribbon. So, and then on the top, I just keep my typewriter so that way I can easily come over here and use it. Ironically, my daughter's friends find it more fascinating than anything, and they love it. They think it's so cool. Probably because they didn't grow up using typewriters or knowing what a typewriter did. Oh, goodness. I'm knocking stuff over. This is just a little plate my daughter made me for Mother's Day one year. And then these are dried flowers from my mother's bouquets I got for my mother's funeral, or from her bouquets at her funeral. And then this mug we got her for Christmas one year. She was Nana. So when my dad moved, he said, "Do you want it?" And I said, "Yes." So that's there. These 2 canisters, this one just holds Happy Planner, some of my Happy Planner Mellow Discs, the big ones. And then this holds some sewing stuff, I think. And then again, I use another little seashell. Let's see if it gets some more light over here. There we go. And my decoupage seashells with my thread. I don't remember what they're called, but they pull your thread through the needle. Then my fabric ribbon that I got from that home in Lake Orion. My sewing machine, it is always plugged in and ready to use. I made this using some blocks and one of those wood planks just to kind of lift it up so it was more eye level for me. Sometimes I will use it here if it's something little. If it's a big sewing project, I typically take it to my dining room table and use it there. And then I just have some pouches that I made just hanging out underneath. Up here is just this was a cube wall hanging thing, and I kept all of them. And I'm using, on this side is dish towels for my kitchen. This side, it's just two of them pushed back together. This side is just some fabric, little fabric fat quarters kind of thing. On the floor, obviously, is just my step stool that I took from my daughter, and I use it in here. And then my paper trimmer and stuff that I need to address. This is my wire hanging rack that my dad got me for my birthday one year. So I have just hung pictures of myself and my mom and me and my daughter. And then artwork that I've created in a little, it's just a piece of wood that I painted, and it's got like a long slit in it so I could just, put the pictures in it. I made this shadow box of funeral flowers from my mom's funeral, from her casket arrangement. And I kind of saw people do it, and I was like, I'm just going to try it, and I'm going to do it. And so that's what I did. So I will always have those. My mom loved flowers. She loved, watching the birds and all of that. So I wanted to keep that. This shelf I just made from some pegboards that I pulled from a store display when we went dumpster diving. And they're up here holding this little piece of wood. I don't put anything real heavy on here because it is not super sturdy. This Longaberger basket, again, I have another one, has some paper ephemera, the ephemera that I make. That I can either take this to the couch and do some hand stitching on it, or I can run it through my sewing machine. This book my friend made me. It is beautiful, and I just love it, so it's up here. Little old thimble I found, and another little one from a sewing machine. And then this is White Diamonds perfume. That was my mom's like signature scent, and it brings me back to her, but I don't spray it often because it is very strong, and my husband gets irritated with the smell. It gives him a headache. So it is very strong when you first put it on, so you don't spray it very often, but I like the bottle, and it reminds me of her, so I kept it. These are just old milk cartons, like the milk from like the dollar store, that I rinsed out and washed, and then put contact paper on. These hold my colored pencils, my fine liners and midliners, and some extra pens and pencils. This is a clear acrylic shelf that is on some S-hooks that is just hanging from the bottom of the wire rack, that has some of my threads. Then here's some more bobbins in a case from something I got, just an acrylic box. So I just put it in there. And then this pegboard was on one of the carts that I used to have. So I just am using it. Again, I think it's zip tied to the wire rack. The light switch for the dining room light is behind this, but I don't use the overhead light, so it doesn't bother me that I'm not using it. I haven't gotten any more hooks for the pegboard to store anything else on here. So for now, this is just what it is. On here is all of my binder rings. And then on this side, this was just a hanging planter that I was using outside the summer. Brought it in. And this holds my, not pruning shears. They're sewing scissors. And some threads, some my zippers, my hard drive, some quilting pins, which I use a lot in home decor. I'm going to do a little short about that. And then just some extra hooks to hang up artwork and cards and stuff. So that is really all that there is to this side of the wall. The storage, this is so much better. I love it so much better than the cart, because the carts I never moved anyway, and they weren't really helpful for me. And it kind of, to me, looked a little junkier than having one big piece. And this piece is nice too, because it kind of gives me a little bit more of an extra surface first off if I need it. So if I need to dry extra stuff or whatever, I also use this part of the counter too for if I'm drying like projects that I painted. And this is a good piece that will, go with me when I move. So when we move, but until then, I hope you enjoyed that. That was the 5th video in my craft room series. I'm just kidding. I hope you enjoyed the tour. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos, and then hit the notification bell so you get notified when I drop some more videos, because I'm going to do some more organization videos kind of showing how I store my stamps, the process, because I have some stamps that I need to put away. So I'm going to show how I do that and put them in the binders. And same thing for my ephemera storage. I'm going to show you guys how I did that. So stay tuned. If there's anything else you want to see from me, let me know. But otherwise, I hope you have a good day and go do something creative. Bye.